This podcast is recorded on the traditional lands of the Boonwurrung and Bunurong people of the Kulin Nation. We pay our respects to their elders and acknowledge their connection to this land. There's no justice without First Nations justice. Welcome to Second City, a place where everyone is welcome and where every week we'll be asking and trying to answer, if the first city falls, how do we want to build a new life together in the second city? Welcome, Lorna. Welcome,
Hello.
Alex. Hello, my loves. So today we're going to talk about a hot topic, quite literally, if you've had steam coming off of you at 3 a.m. So, ladies, why is everyone suddenly talking about menopause?
And
Gen X has come of age.
well, that's the thing, right? Like, are we like the very talking generation? You know,
Yeah.
whereas boomers had to kind of put up a front and like always appear shiny, Gen X kind of lets it all hang out a bit, I reckon, a bit more than, and I know like people will always quibble when you try to generalize across generations and whatever, but I'm pretty sure there's something in that we just find it too exhausting to hide it.
Yeah, because we've had enough of playing good girl, and
Ooh,
you
nice.
know we have had enough.
I'd put that on the t-shirt, Lorna.
We've had enough of playing good girl. Yeah, enough is enough. We've had to do everything, you know, because you can have it all. Yeah, well, you know what? We're tired now. We're tired.
And I suppose with the dawn of the internet for our generation, that information is suddenly available, isn't it? Whereas, like, I think what I knew of menopause before entering perimenopause myself was that it was about hot flushes, right? That's all I sort of saw on TV. But actually, of course, now I'm in it, I know that there's a whole raft of things. And we can easily then Google that. And I suppose partners of people going through menopause can do that too. So they can say, oh yeah, anxiety, depression, brain fog, joint pain, weight gain, right? Or loss of interest in sex, all of these things that don't get the airtime in movies, if it's just all about the hot flush. So suddenly we all have more information, more knowledge.
And it's even in like comedy shows. Like I always see that reel. I've never watched it. I think it's that 70s show or something, the one. And, you know, there's like this woman who's like everyone loves her. It's got that Ashton Kutcher guy in it. And then they show her, you know, her going through her rage and everything. Like I never watched the show, but it always pops up on my reels and it's acknowledged, like in a comedy series.
Yeah, yeah.
That would never have happened. Or
No.
I never saw it as a kid growing up.
Yeah.
You know, it was never on Family Ties, for example, you know.
Right?
Yeah. Well, and even there are now menopause influencers that are in the space. So
Yes.
I follow one,
Really?
Dr. Mary Haver, who's excellent, right, and has something like 3 million followers because all of us are following these people. And suddenly they become then this locus of all of the knowledge that is missing from the medical sector. What are your personal experiences? Where are you at in a menopause journey? Are you in perimenopause?
Well, I think I am because I have rage. But
Could be. Yeah.
I cry all the time. But I have to say, so this is my second year. So at the start of last year, I was like skipping, you know, periods. Like I wasn't getting them for 3 months, for example. But then I went on a health kick because I felt like I wanted to work on my strength. And ever since I've started resistance training and doing strength work, I've gone back to normal and all my symptoms have gone, and I still have like the brain fog and crying and rage, but not to the extent that I was. And I'm just cycling regularly again. It's like I've gone younger. Yeah, it's been incredible.
So what's your health kick? Tell us about this.
Yeah.
I just do weights at home.
Weights,
Weights. Like I do, you know, every day I get up at 6 and I'll do half-hour strength training. Then I'll go for a 50-minute walk, and then that's how I start my day. Most days, that is my routine. And just by doing that, it's like I feel great.
I just assumed it was good genes. I didn't realize you were like putting in the effort.
No, yeah. I get up. I get up at 6 and I do it like I need to do it. Like I crave doing it now. And yeah, ever since I've done that, I have felt fantastic. Well, you know,
brilliant.
Relatively speaking, as a 52-year-old mother of, you know, 3 older teens and working and everything else.
I think that's huge though, right? Like they do say that exercise's impact on the brain, there's almost no medication that can even sort of compare with it, which is an extraordinary first place to begin then, isn't it?
Yes, yes. Because when I was seriously in the worst shape I have ever been in my entire life, physically, mentally, everywhere was hurting. I was broken. I was falling apart. I was at the physio every week, and I thought I hated it. I thought, okay, I have to do something. I want to be a strong old lady. And so I started doing strength work.
Amazing.
Like I'm lifting, maybe double, 3 times the weight that I used to.
Wow.
I feel stronger. And
Fantastic.
and it took all my perimenopause symptoms away.
Yeah.
But that was my HRT.
That's really interesting then, because having your periods come back just says that your body is just, it's gone back in time almost, hasn't it? Wowzers. This is terrible information, learner, because now
I know. I'm thinking, oh no, I have to do strength training.
I can't think of anything worse. So, but they do talk about that, don't they, about bone health being connected to weight bearing exercise.
I have
women.
seen it. Yeah. I am living proof of how it has completely changed how my body's working. And I'm very small. So I'm barely 5 feet. And so for me, strength training is even more important because, if I was to not put on weight, I would be eating barely any calories because I'm so small. So I need muscle mass. So I can eat a normal amount because I love eating. So it's been great for me 2 ways.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, license to eat more. That's a tick.
Yes. But getting your periods again, well,
Bummer. Yeah. Yeah. How fascinating. Well, I'm glad we started there because that's a really interesting.
And it's a
lot.
I am on no hormones. I am on nothing.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I took a different path, hey?
Yeah. Same. Very much same.
So I spent all of my life under eating as a post-anorexic person with all kinds of dysmorphias from the classic 90s teenager generation with what was that awful heroin chic era. And I wish more than anything that we'd been the generation that had the be strong, not thin.
Yes.
And that's what I'm trying to give to my girls now is be strong, not thin, because thin is so damaging. And like I had my first bone scan in my 20s and they found osteopenia in parts of my skeleton already in my 20s. God. Yeah. So it's been on my mind all these years since. And then after the election campaign, when I was already so run down, like you, learner, just totally burnt out really and in bad shape in lots of ways. The biggest symptom I had was brain fog. I just felt really foggy and just low energy, low libido, just really lacking a zest for life sort of thing. So I went off to the doctor and I remember my friend Tara saying to me, you're probably just burnt out and maybe you should start there. But I was like, I don't know, I'm bang on for perimenopause, which of course I am 6 years out from the average menopause age, which is I think 54 or something. And I'm 40, I don't know what I am, 46, 47.
That's the brain fog.
That's the fog talking. So, and I did one of those, I've just filled in the survey with the doctor who's an OB-GYN that I got, a specific menopause doctor that does online consultations. So like OB-GYN who specialises in that thing. And she read the survey and just said, yep, you sit mostly because of my age, you certainly sit within the bracket where these symptoms could be perimenopause and here are your options. And the option that I took was to go on to estrogen. I use the estrogel and because I still have a uterus, I have to have the progesterone pill as well, which I've mentioned to you before, made me really plungingly depressed. So I can no longer take it orally. You have to insert it or get a IUD or something like that. Just to try and level that out. So on the medication, in other words, on the protocol. And the one thing that I would say that I feel good about that is that estrogen does ward against further osteoporosis, which is obviously a concern for me.
So with the new administration with the progesterone, are you feeling better? Like,
I actually am, yeah. So I think going through the gut was no good, and you take half as much if you insert it yourself. So, and then you could do the IUD, which is in there for years at a time, but that's a synthetic, and I'm trying to avoid the synthetic.
I've got such politics brain that I hear IUD and I think, no, it's IED, improvised explosive device. No, it's not.
I don't want to put that in there.
I just think IUD and think, oh, excruciating pain. They don't give you anesthetic.
Well, that's the other thing
yeah.
I was worried about. Yeah, I've heard some horror stories.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, which leads us into medical misogyny, doesn't it?
Yes.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So one thing I want to raise is that only 20% of OB-GYNs have training around menopause.
Really?
Yep, specific to menopause. Yep, and
Insane.
the lady I follow on the internet, Dr. Marie Haver, said that she had only one day as a module of menopause training as a part of her medical degree. So you might expect that your GP, unless they are themselves a menopausal woman or postmenopausal woman, may not have enormous insight into your experiences. But hopefully that's changing, right?
And like, I'm just lucky with my GP, who I love so much. She's just so patient and everything. But, you know, I've taken this like vastly less healthy route from learners, where it's like just all medication all the time and lots and lots and lots of it.
Boy, we're a spectrum. I'm so glad you're here, learner.
So like last year, I had a hysterectomy in February, because I had endometriosis and like all sorts of other fun things as well.
Which is a whole other show subject we could talk about at some point. Yeah.
And like a bunch of complicated stuff went down, but somewhere around July, and I'm not a fan of the winters anyway. Like, I just feel shit in the cold. And work was really, really stressful, and I was almost certainly like heavy into the perimenopause, but I couldn't track my cycles because without a womb I don't have periods anymore.
True.
I could never know like what was what, and I wasn't sleeping properly, and the night sweats and all. Anyway, the fact that I managed to keep my job was a miracle. But I've spoken to lots of women our age, and the numbers of women who like nearly blow up their lives because of, you know, this horrendous transition that we're not taught about, and they just think they're going nuts or something. And so, you know, I was really lucky to have the GP that I've got, who just, you know, worked with me in the estrogel, and I don't have to worry about progesterone because no womb, you know, upping anti-anxiety medication as well, and taking care of all of that. And I started walking regularly as well. And all those things combined, like I had this period in the spring of last year that I internally and secretly called to myself the magnificence. Because it was just like this period of like, well, it's fucking spring. I feel okay. I don't have brain fog. I'm sleeping okay. You know, I love my work because I do love my work, you know, when I'm not a lunatic. And it was just the period of the magnificence. And as we head into September, I can feel the weather turning.
And it's returning.
Right? And the magnificence is returning.
From its slumber.
I love that meme, which is just like, you are here, and it's like first spring, the swooping,
I love
second spring, and now it's like the magnificence.
Yes.
Yes. When the blossoms come out.
Yeah, truly.
And the smell of the wattle.
Yes.
Oh,
I know, good
get a little
vibes.
spring in your step.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
I commit, learner, in this podcast, I commit to doing more exercise. I'm inspired by your story because I know I need to, and especially weight-bearing things, I know I need to for my bones. I don't want to be bad to the bone.
I don't find it as, like you don't drag your feet as much as say you have to go for a run because you're in your house. Do some weights. You can watch TV if you want or listen to music. Just, you know, you can do it. It's so practical.
I bought a water rower a couple of years ago, which in the end my teenagers used more than I did, but maybe I could get, that's a weight resistance thing where you pull against water.
Oh.
Like a rowing machine, but it's made of wooden water. It's not electric or anything.
Oh, wow.
I just got it after I watched, what was that TV show with Kevin Spacey in it?
House of Cards?
Yeah. Yeah. He used a water rower, and I was like,
Oh, oh,
so
I
it's
didn't know that
standing.
they existed.
I'll send you a
yeah.
picture. It's standing on its side in my room, unused, being very sad, but it's there. It's funny what you said, Alex, about people blowing up their lives, because one of the number one symptoms that women say around the perimenopause time is that they don't feel like themselves anymore. And actually, there is a spike in divorces
Yeah,
at that
right.
age. So I'm so glad that you say that men are interested in this space, because you'd want to be forewarned, wouldn't you? Yeah, about what's going on in your partner's brain
Yeah,
or
she
body.
doesn't hate you,
Yeah,
maybe,
yeah.
probably, but like,
Let's not rule that out entirely.
okay, yeah. Men I was talking to last night was so incredibly articulate about it, about how like their fathers bottle stuff up, and so they could only have the two emotions of basically angry and horny,
Mm,
and you know they would just explode because they couldn't talk about their feelings, and men in our generation feel really like the heavy burden of not making the mistakes their fathers made. And so they talk much more openly about their struggles and they reach out more for help because they know they owe it to their families.
Yeah. The poor men, if they've got teenagers, teenagers
truly.
in the house going through, teenage hormones, your wife's going through, backwards. I always call it puberty in reverse. So, they're going through puberty, you're going through puberty in reverse, and you're the man stuck in the middle. You're
It really
thinking,
is a baton pass between teenage girls and their mother, isn't it? It's like, over to
yes.
you
Yeah, it's so because
Yeah,
they're all going
at the
oily,
same
we're all
time.
going
going
dry.
dry.
We're all shriveling, they're going all plump. It's like everything in reverse.
We should call it like teeter pube. It's not quite backward, but it's enough.
Okay, I don't know if
Yes.
that'll catch on, but I like
Well,
that you're
No, I
trying.
don't either.
interesting.
I'm not allowed to name
Very
anything when yeah, just okay.
It's
Yeah.
too funny. I want to talk now about a video that went around on the internet a while ago, and it was this an old professor of some sort, and he talks about how there are three. You might have seen it. There are three species that go through menopause, right? And they're all the big brain species. And he's
Oh,
I don't know if he's a biologist or something or whatever, or an evolutionary specialist, but he says it's bizarre evolutionarily, unless females have something in these species that transcends creating life. And his theory is that it's so extraordinary that any species would evolve beyond their reproductive age, and only these three big brain species do. And so what do these species have in common? It's that they survive through the translation of knowledge between
Yes,
generations.
I saw
And
something like that.
it's awesome, right? And so, so nature says, for instance, men don't need to live that long. They can go away after 90% of a woman's life, but a woman needs to live into her post
Yes.
procreative era. And his theory is that having babies is so dangerous that you can't risk taking that knowledge off the plate. You have to leave that knowledge available for the community to survive. So evolution has said, well, then we'll just take the childbirth, the dangerous childbirth, out of the picture so that women live long enough so that the wisdom is so important that women have that it defies the need for procreation, which I just loved. I thought it was so cool. So the three species are killer whales, elephants, and humans.
And I also read something that
wow.
it's that older woman who is there as the wisdom and the support of the mothers and the
Yep,
younger women. And
yep.
she's like the strength and the backbone to make that next generation survive.
Yeah,
I was
grandmother
reading, yeah,
teachers, right? Yeah.
grandmothers. Yeah, I was reading
Yeah.
something like that too.
Wow, wow, wow. You wouldn't want to fuck with a menopausal
Ugh.
elephant, I
No.
don't imagine.
Oh my gosh. He
Yeah.
sounds stumpy.
I wonder if they have rage.
My partner showed me a video of an elephant that was abused by someone and remembered who the person
Yes.
was and went and stomped them to death. And then went back to their funeral and stomped on their grave.
Yes.
And we're like cheering for the elephant. Yes, go
In this
elephant.
scenario, that is true. She's just in
I identify
menopause.
madly.
I know. I need bigger feet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, because normally I hear sort of evolutionary biology stuff and then break out in hives, right? But there's something like really deep in that around like women often complain about becoming invisible
True.
as they age. And I think that kind of thinking alongside the refusal to be quiet and ashamed
Mm.
of menopause and like insisting on talking about it is like, I think it's also women just saying, I'd rather not be invisible if that's okay.
Yeah. I've loved watching women in menopause coming alive and saying, I love no longer being responsible for a gaze, that I can just go through life and be my powerful self without feeling observed or like I have to meet a male gaze or fill a certain sort of an expectation, a social expectation. What is it? The give no fucks era, right?
Well, right. And um, so, Lerna, I was telling this to Sonia a few weeks ago that I was out on a walk and there was this young dude who was walking and from a very, very long distance, he kind of looked at me and it wasn't like anything bad or anything, but I had this kind of thought that occurred to me that like, as menopausal women are more and more likely to get injectables and take care of their health and appear younger, like these poor men are not going to realize that like the women that they're looking at are like, oh, I'm not up for this and I'll fucking thump you if you say anything to me.
You've misunderstood, young man.
Yeah.
Yeah, don't let the lycra fool you.
Yeah.
Yeah, interesting. True. Actually, that's true. And as someone who had body dysmorphia in my life, that whole world is something quite troubling, isn't it? And certainly the Gen X iconic women who have been through menopause, the way that they have wrested back aging from the brink, you know. Think of all of, I mean, there are names that we could mention that I don't want to mention or shame because it's tough. It's a tough gig being a Gen X woman in this era, which didn't allow you to age.
Yeah, it's horrible watching people just feel that they've got the right to comment on what these women have,
Yeah.
you know, felt the need to do for whatever
Yeah.
reason. And, you know, like,
particularly in industries that have been really explicit about you have to look this certain way or you're no longer even employable.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's been, we have a little note here that sort of says there's been recent political interest in menopause, and I feel like as a cohort, politicians would be wise to take us into account, seeing as we're coming into our own.
There's been a focus on health in general because that's kind of a core Labor strength.
Yep.
And then there's a focus on women's health because that's a core Liberal weakness. Women
true.
in general.
Yes,
right?
true.
At the same time, there needs to be like this retreat, I think, from zero-sum thinking that, well, sorry, we can only focus on women now. Men are kind of as though we're not all connected. You know, even if you're not in a heterosexual relationship, you still have men around you and you need men around you to be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? Like for so many reasons, there are so many consequences if anyone's health is not okay. And I think, you know, like there's too much oppositionalism, you know, that this group must benefit at the expense of that group.
Yeah, the zero-sum game of it all, as opposed to we can all live well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's because we don't have our tax base in order.
Yes.
If we had our tax base in order and the people who should be paying their fair share that are not paying their fair share, we could afford it for everybody.
Yeah. And even, you know, working from home, the whole working from home arguments and debates that are happening now. Well, that suits perimenopausal women quite well, thank you.
Yes.
You know, it suits working mothers quite well, thank you.
Exactly.
It
Good point.
suits working dads quite well. It's, you know, there's so many things that we can change. We could go to a 4-day week, you know, where there's flexibility in which 4 days you might like to work. You know, there's so many things that can be more healthy for all members of our society. And because it's a mental health issue, really, as well as a physical issue.
Yeah. And it intersects with mental health so much as
Yes.
well, which is something I learned when I started looking into it. Even something like women, and there are many of us who are late diagnosis ADHD, as we talked about last week, and your ADHD symptoms get much louder in menopause because estrogen heavily influences dopamine. And so that plays it, which is hence the brain fog, right? So that plays a big role in whether or not you can focus or have attention. And so when you go through menopause, if you happen to have ADHD, then you get this double whammy of a dopamine drop, which is pretty wild.
Right.
Yeah, menopause is already a hormone roller coaster. So if you're on medication for that, then it can be really hard to sort of have a plain sailing. Yeah.
Yeah, and work stress is, it feels worse when you're anxious and you've got your brain's not right, and then you've got what you used to be able to handle in your work just seems so much worse and more magnified when you're in that state. And even like, office temperatures and things like that. So many women I know, like, they're sweating it out in their workplace because the temperature is there for everybody, and they're like sitting there in a singlet dripping. I mean, that's really embarrassing. You know what I mean? Like, what about your dignity and how do you fix that?
Yeah, I wonder if there's even leave that's sort of useful for women in this period of time. Even just to have appointments, sometimes the health admin in your life takes work time, right? You can't go to the doctor on a Sunday or whatever. Then I had a train of thought, but I lost it.
That's where we are.
Exactly.
Damn it.
You walk into the room, I came in here for something.
What am I here for? Who are you guys?
What the hell did I come here for? I don't know.
I lost this giant thing of Kewpie mayonnaise.
Oh, that's so disappointing.
Where did you
Japanese
put it?
pancake.
Do you know? It's a honest to God mystery in our household, and we've had many people on this case.
Is it in your laundry?
It's fucking nowhere. It's where
in your wardrobe.
Like, it's just, and it's
gone.
Big. It's big, and it's just not. It's not findable by anybody, and because I think I'd been a bit stressed out with work, and I hadn't had some great sleeps, and then I had this really, really good sleep. But in the period where the bad sleeps were happening, the mayonnaise incident.
Oh no.
But then I had the good sleep, and then the next day after my good sleep, I had a sneeze, and that's not normally a big deal, but after a good sleep, it was like, that's the best sneeze I ever had. And it's like, I reckon this is what getting old is like, right?
We're at the great sneeze era of our life. Oh, that's too funny. Oh, I love it. I love it. Do we have any other coping mechanisms that we're relying on in this phase, aside from setting ourselves up for the best sneeze of our life? Yeah.
I think, so as someone who is like both personally and culturally a deep hypochondriac, I keep this really elaborate, like massive spreadsheet that tracks like everything you could possibly imagine. And it goes back to February 2024, and every day, like, I fill it out meticulously, and I uploaded it all into a large language model.
Amazing.
And I gave it some instructions, find the patterns, and there was nothing particularly extraordinary about it other than relationships are really, really important. And when things are going well in your relationships, then everything else is going to go well. And so I think what we always talk about, like on this podcast, the importance of other people and just sharing and talking and all of that stuff. I think particularly in peri, like there is, what could be more important than just, even when you really don't feel like it, just reaching out.
Yes. This is definitely, we've talked about this before. This is the opposite of what I'm naturally inclined to do if I'm feeling flat and just want to crawl into a hole. Yeah. Which is why this date every Friday at a regular time, which is unavoidable.
Yes.
It's the perfect solution.
Yes.
Yeah.
It is. Another thing that I have done, and again, it's really cliche with the exercising, is I am eating more protein.
Right. They do talk about that, don't they? Yeah. And you need more protein in this phase.
I do. Yeah. And it's just because I used to be addicted to sugar. Like my diet was sugar, chocolate, coffee, cakes, biscuits. Like I have a real sweet tooth. And
Sounds good.
Again, so since last year, or since I've been doing exercising, I've also been really conscious that, like, I love Greek yogurt now. I have Greek yogurt with my, chia seeds in it, and that's my breakfast every day. I'm always very conscious of always eating a protein for my meal, and I have found it's stabilized my moods heaps.
Yeah, true.
Really?
Okay.
Yeah.
Fascinating.
100%. I'm not having my sugar highs and my sugar crashes, and and just I come from a family where we always cooked homemade from first principles. Like I'm not like, all my meals are home cooked. I don't buy sauces and anything anyway.
Yeah, right.
So I've just found I'm eating whole foods. I eat everything. I eat bread, pasta, rice, meat, all the veggies. And I still eat chocolate, cakes, biscuits and things, but not as much as I used to because I'm not craving it anymore.
Yeah,
And
wow.
I'm finding things too sweet. Like, I
Yes.
had a barbecue shapes the other day and it was so sweet. I used to always buy the bigger peanut butter, but again, it's so sweet. So I'm just buying, Mavers now, and I've just found my taste
You've
has
changed your
changed.
palate. Yeah.
Yeah, yes. And
Oh,
So
amazing.
interesting.
that has really made a difference for me as well.
Mm.
I'm a new woman.
You're jacked.
Oh, I wish. No, I'm not jacked.
Yeah.
It's all behind the flabby,
You're just
52-year-old lady.
Sure.
body.
Soft on the outside, strong on the inside.
Strong marshmallow.
Yeah, that's what you want to be. Yeah, strong in the core.
But
yeah,
they've
that's awesome.
really made a huge difference.
I did think about wanting to get a weight vest because I do walk. Walking's the one thing I do quite a lot of, and I did through the pandemic. And we have a dog, and we walk our dog a lot. Like, I love a long walk. I find it really important for mental health. And as sort of low impact exercise, it asks very little of you, and you get the benefit of being outside in the air and stuff. And as it gets more springy, and we enter the magnificence,
Yes.
Yes.
then yeah.
Yeah, I've seen weighted vests everywhere now too.
Yeah, I think they're a bit of a thing. And the other thing that came up when I was reading about this is that apparently 30% of women going through menopause will lose a tooth in the first 5 years.
To me.
Fuck.
Really? One of my teeth, like I have had the worst dental experiences in the last couple of years. You got to go to an
It's super
endodontist
expensive.
and everything.
Oh, no.
Yes, my teeth are just like cracking, breaking when I'm eating. Like, I was eating like last year I was eating a pizza. Like, it's soft, and my tooth cracked, broke, all fell apart. Yes.
Yeah, so definitely dental should be under Medicare because menopause is not something we can do anything about.
I know.
Yeah.
I agree.
Saying like with the in one of the focus groups, like we were talking about how like it's just really weird that someone at some point made the decision that like the whole body is fair game for doctors, just not the mouth.
Until you get to your neck and
Just
then
not the mouth. Don't touch the mouth.
Yeah. Yeah.
Makes sense.
It doesn't
Right?
because the dental oral health is so intrinsically tied to every other kind of health.
Yes.
Heart
Like, you can have
disease,
a heart
strokes.
attack. You can have a heart attack if you've got like an abscess somewhere hidden.
Inflammation
Really?
and
Yes,
cancer.
yes, you can.
Yeah.
Yes, it can kill you.
Truth. Yeah. Truth. It made me laugh.
Forget about dad jokes; they're mum jokes.
Yeah, truly. I am enjoying that. Becoming middle-aged has so much to offer. Truly.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah, it really does.
I really like the not giving a fuck about lots of things. Like it's so novel. It's so, and I like to explore it because you still have the inclination to care about shit, and then you remember that like, oh, part of the joy of getting older is that you can care less. Like, you know enough to know what bullshit this is.
Yeah. That is the wisdom that evolution is offering us. You know what the bullshit is. So yeah, spread that around.
Yeah.
Spread that good shit around.
Yeah, our bullshit radars are fine-tuned now.
Fine-tuned, which is lucky because we're in a post-truth era. So the world needs us. Yeah.
And how?
And how. Yeah, exactly. All right. Anything else to add, ladies? Or should we diverge into other interesting subjects?
Let's diverge.
Because we've become distracted.
Yeah. No.
Thought processes have gone.
That's right. No, we stayed on track for a solid 35 minutes. I think that's extraordinary. Yeah.
Oh, one really important thing before we stop as well. I had this cough that I thought I was getting like lung cancer or something because, of course.
Hypochondria.
Yeah, right. And
pop it in the spreadsheet.
Believe me, it's in the spreadsheet. And I found on Reddit perimenopausal women talking about the cough.
Oh, yeah.
And then I went on estrogen and my cough went away mostly, completely.
Wow.
And then it like every so often I get a little twinge and I remember how like, but it used to be so bad that like during a group, I would have to put myself on mute and people would just watch me while like my eyes and my nose streaked and they would feel so bad for me. And it would take like, a minute for me to gain some sort of composure. It was terrible.
That's,
oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's really awful. Yeah.
Yeah.
Talk about bringing vulnerability into a space.
Yeah. It's not a tumor.
Yeah.
It's menopause.
There's the other t-shirt we should have printed up.
Yeah.
Oh, goodness me. Well, I'm glad we've survived. Yeah.
So far, so good.
So far, so good. That's right. Yeah.